Firstly, what is matter? Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So you have to remember these two things: mass and space. Anything which occupies space and has mass is called matter. So this is the simplest definition. Generally, sometimes a question comes, different types of substances has been given and you have to identify them as a matter. So you have to remember these two things whenever you are thinking that whether this thing is a matter or not. Like if it is asked, air is a matter or not, sometimes some students say no, but air is a matter, because when we inflates a balloon, the balloon inflates because of the acquiring capacity of space, and when we keep empty balloon, or when we weigh a empty balloon along with a filled balloon, that there is a difference in the mass. So air is a matter. Now, what is matter? When we say matter, it is made up of particles. So particles have some properties which we have read, and these three properties are very very important, because so many questions in day-to-day life and even in your exams comes on the basis of these three properties. First is they have empty space between them. When we say they have empty space between them, that means if we say this is a particle, this is a particle, this is a particle, this is a particle, there is a space in between these particles. So this empty space is present or not can be proved by doing an activity. What is the activity? We take a glass of water and we put some sugar inside it. For this purpose, you have to do one thing. You take a transparent glass and mark the level of water on the glass, then put a spoon of sugar inside it. When you put a spoon of sugar inside it, the water level rises from your mark. Then what you have to do, you have to take a spoon and start stirring. After some time, you will see when the sugar has been mixed with the water, the level again came to the level from which you have started. Then where that sugar has gone, that sugar has actually taken the in place between these particles. This is the space where the sugar has gone. So this can be proved that they have the empty space. Next is that matter attracts, the particles attract each other. So again, for this we can do activity. For doing that activity, what we have to do, you have seen that whenever there is a tank or anything which is filled with water and we want to empty that tank without the help of any motor or that, what we do, we put a pipe like this and we suck from this side. When we are sucking from this side, initially nothing will be coming out and then the water start coming out. Once the water had started coming out, we just leave this tube and the whole tank will be emptied in few minutes. So how this whole tank has emptied in few minutes? Because the particles of water were interconnected with each other. When we have made a channel of this, they started coming out. So we can say that they attract each other. Now the third thing is they are continuously moving. So again, this can be also proved that they are continuously moving by simple activity, that if anything which is being cooked in the kitchen, we get the smell of that in the room also. If any student is coming in the class with a perfume or different kind of smell is coming in the classroom, we easily notice that. So this can be said that the particles are continuously moving and they reaches our nose and we smell it. Now next thing is, when we talk of matter actually is divided into three states. First, solid, liquid and gas. When we talk of solid, liquid and gas, we can talk of the interconversion of matter. We can start from the right hand side. If we want to convert solid to liquid, the process is known as melting. You have read about the melting point also, the point at which solid changes into liquid. Now again, if we want to convert liquid to gases, the process is known as boiling. That means boiling point, that energy which we are providing to the liquid through which it is converted into the gaseous or vapor state. If we want to reverse this process, that means gaseous to liquid, process is known as condensation. That means we are applying some pressure to it. If we are applying some pressure to it, it will be condensed to liquid. And if we deeply freeze it, then it will be converted to solid. So these are the process through which they are interconverted with each other. But one process more is there, that is known as sublimation, through which solid is directly changed into gas. So this going of solid directly to gas without going into the intermediate state, that is liquid, is known as sublimation. Now you can see from the activity that as we are going from solid to gaseous state, what is happening to the temperature? In case of solid, the temperature is what? It's low. But when we reach the gas, it is high. So as we go from solid to gaseous state, the temperature plays a very key role, and also in the movement of particles also it plays a key role, because as we go upwards, the particles keep on vibrating at high speed and the interparticle space also increases. Next is matter is divided into two forms, that is the pure form and the mixture. When we call pure form, it is again divided into two parts, its elements and compounds. Now what is elements? Smallest part of the matter which cannot be divided by physical process. That means it is the smallest part. That means if you have a gold bar, this is the symbol of gold actually, AU. If you want to cut it out, you can get the smallest piece, but it will be gold only. Likewise, that if you are having an iron piece and you break it into two pieces, you will get the two piece of iron. So it is the smallest part of the matter element which cannot be divided by the physical process. And why am I emphasizing on the physical process? Because chemically we can separate smaller atoms and molecules, which we have studied and we will study in the next chapters also. But on the basis of physical process, this is the smallest part of the matter. Second is compound. Compound, in the last class also we have discussed compound, two or more elements combined by chemical process. Now when we say two or more elements combining by the chemical process, you must have remember the chemical process, along we have to write the definite proportion. That means two or more elements. Hydrogen is one element and combining with oxygen giving you water. So here this hydrogen and oxygen are combining by chemical process and giving you water. The compound which is formed will be a new compound with new properties. Okay, but we are combining with chemical process, so the chemical bonding is there in the water. Now next is when we talk of mixture. Mixture are of two types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous means, here the homo word means the same concentration will be there. So in this case you have to learn about the solutions. In your book it is written as true solutions. It is a part of the homogeneous mixture. That means salt plus water we can take. The salt plus water in this case is the example of homogeneous mixture. You can also take water plus sugar. Now why we are calling it as a homogeneous mixture? Suppose you are having a glass of water and you have mixed a spoon of sugar in it. Now when you have mixed a spoon of sugar in it and you have stirred it well, when you taste it, you will find the every sip of the water you are drinking is having the same amount of sugar content in it. That proves that it is a homogeneous mixture. But when we talk of heterogeneous mixture, here the hetero word itself means different. So when we call it heterogeneous mixture, that means it is having a different amount of particles in the different area. Likewise, the example is suspension and colloids. Suspension is a type of mixture which is having the interparticle spaces higher and the size of particle is also bigger side. Colloid is having the particle size in between the solution and suspension. When we talk of suspension, we can take soil plus water, we can take water plus chalk, we can take water plus starch, etc. are the example of suspension. In case of suspension, what we have to explain that suspension, you have seen that when we have taken a glass filled with water and we have mixed some mud inside it and we keep on stirring it, after some time if we stop stirring and keep that mud box or that glass of water, the mud will come downwards. So it proves that the particle size is bigger and the color of the water, you will see different types of color because the concentration is different at each level. That is the suspension, because at lower end whole the mud will be there, in middle end small particles of mud or some other substances might be there, and upper one is the clear part. So that's why we say it is a different different mixture. That means we are having heterogeneous mixture. Colloid actually is in between, as I told you, solution and suspension. Colloid is a mixture of milk and water can be taken as an example of colloid. When we say colloid, in this also the particle size is in between this, but we are not able to clearly see the difference. When we say, like in suspension we were seeing the difference, but in case of colloid we are not able to see. But when we pass a light through it, we can easily see that there is a diffraction or scattering of light. So this is how this topics we have completed till now. Now we come to the question answers. Name a matter which can exist in nature in all the three states. We know that it's water only because it is found in ice, water and the water vapors. How does a solution differ from a suspension? You have to write the differentiate between this. So you can first write the definition. In case of solution, you can write it is a homogeneous mixture of. In case of suspension, you can write it is a heterogeneous mixture. Then we can talk of particle size also. The particle size in case of solution are very small, which cannot be seen with the naked eye. In case of suspension, the particle size are bigger. You can see with the help of naked eye. When we talk of the on the basis of transparency, in case of solution, the solution is, in case of solution it is transparent, it does not scatter the light which is passed through it. In case of suspension, it scatters the light which is passed through it. On the basis of filtration, we can say we cannot filter the solution with the help of filter paper. In the suspension, we can filter it out the contents, and we can write the examples. Now what are compounds? Again, the compounds, when two or more elements combine by a physical process in a definite proportion, is called compound. The examples are water, glucose, salt. Any two examples you can write. What are mixtures? Mixtures are the two types. You have read mixture two types. It is a mixtures, two or more elements or compound when they are mixed by a physical process and which retains their identity. You have to remember this. In case of mixture, the elements or which has been mixed, they retain their identity. Element or compound, anything can be there. Suppose you are mixing salt and sugar, so both will maintain their identity till they are not combined with the chemical process. Now when we talk of the types, this salt plus water, it is example of solution. Soil plus water, it is an example of suspension. And milk plus water, it is an example of colloid. So you complete your activity. Thank you.